Welcome to everyone that is joining us, both physically and virtually. You are being welcomed to the SADA Awards Gala dinner for 2020. And yes, it is 2020 because we delayed last year. We are so excited to have you all here today to celebrate with us on this special day. Firstly, thanks to our sponsors, Pro-Namal and Strongman Group, as well as our partners, Liberty. Joining me on stage to assist me today is Dr. Tinesha Pabu, as well as Dr. Ntabiseng Metsing, who are here and they will introduce themselves. Over to you.
Thank you very much, KC. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Ntabiseng Metsing. I'm the Head of Professional Development at SADA. I just want to congratulate all the winners this evening, and I wish everyone enjoys this spectacular evening.
Thank you, Dr. Metsing. My name is Dr. Tinesha Parbu, and I am the Head of Clinical Support at SADA. And likewise, I'd just like to extend our gratitude to all our members that have taken time out of their personal lives to join us this evening in order to shower the accolades to our deserving members.
Thank you, Casey.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here today, I would like to introduce to you our president, who is going to say a few words, Dr. Rhonin Naidoo.
No one ever asks why we do the weird things we do. Like, why doing 2 trips is just 1 too many? Why do we, before we use these, or say 5 when we mean 20? Why do we struggle to hide our true feelings and think that lift buttons make them go faster? At Liberty, we want to know all the weird and wonderful things that make us human. Because human beings, being human, are what we make financial solutions for. Liberty, in it with you.
Good evening, colleagues, members of the SADA Board, National Council, and management, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasant duty and honor to introduce our guest speaker for the evening, Mr. Justice Malala. Mr. Malala is a well-known South African political commentator, newspaper columnist, and best-selling author. Mr. Malala writes regular weekly columns for the Times newspaper and the Financial Mail magazine, and a monthly column for Destiny Man magazine. He is the resident political analyst for ETV and ETV News, Channel Africa. He also presents the weekly premier political talk show in South Africa, The Justice Factor, on ENCA. He is also a political analyst at Lefika Securities in Johannesburg. Justice Malala has developed his own unique presentation style, hard-hitting, no-holds-barred approach. He is both informative and entertaining. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Justice Malala.
Hi everyone, my name is Justice Malala. Thanks for asking me to speak to you. I'm coming to you, funny enough, from the United States in California, where I spend some of my time. So I look at South Africa and I look at the US, and sometimes people say, oh, the politics are bad. Well, if you look at South Africa right now with all its problems and you think, oh, what's happening in the rest of the world? Well, there's the Ukraine, there's Russia, there's possibly many countries going at each other. So we mustn't be too hard on ourselves sometimes. The global picture can be challenging. But here I am talking to you about politics in South Africa, and I keep an eye on politics in South Africa because I think that if we can get a handle on our politics, then we will stop being like this all the time, where we say, oh, it's the end of the world, and so forth and so forth. Well, actually, it's not always the end of the world, but it's not the end of the world if we talk about it. If we talk about our politics, we talk about the impact on us, and we talk about how we get through all these things, because it's been tough. Our politics have been very, very tough this past 6 weeks, have been tough in 2021. And have been tough in 2020 as well. Many of you are at home right now thinking, oh, is the electricity gonna go or not? Many people hit by load shedding every week, every second week, we can get an announcement from Eskom anytime, and all of us are sitting there saying, Eskom again, and so forth and so forth. And all of that is political. We started the year on a very, very bad footing when the Parliament building burned down. We've seen all sorts of issues, people marching on businesses, people going out looking for so-called foreigners. We're seeing a bit of violence around that. Again, the political atmosphere very toxic and made even more so by revelations, the Zondo Commission coming up, many people in our political hierarchy being implicated in all sorts of malfeasance. So the news cycle has been very busy, has been very intense. The beginning of this year, the past 6 weeks have just been all go and non-stop. All that happens in the context of what we saw last year in July, when you had the extraordinary July riots, when KwaZulu-Natal and South Africa and Gauteng essentially went up in flames. The police couldn't handle it. The army had to be brought in, and many of us were afraid for our country and what's going to happen to it. That shadow of the riots comes on top of the structural issues that South Africa has. The very high unemployment at the moment, sitting at 36%. It's the worst in the world, according to Bloomberg, of the 127 countries that Bloomberg follows. In the middle of that, we were sitting in the pandemic, a pandemic that has been going on globally since 2020, March. We've been in lockdown after lockdown, level 4, level 3, 2, 1, back up, back down, and so forth. So all that means that we are in a political world, in a political state where these things have major impact on us professionally, have impact on our businesses, and you can see what that has done. Since 2020, business confidence had been going down anyway, came back up, and then July 2021 happened, and that's gone down, and it's still way down in measuring, or by the BER and Psyche. So these things have an impact on us, and that's why I always say we need to talk about these things, because if we don't talk about them, they hit us by surprise, they catch us by surprise, and we don't know what's going on. So that's why I'm here. I want to talk to you about the politics, and perhaps I can help you a bit understand, be able to deal with some of the things that are coming our way. I watched a movie the other night, and I thought I'd share this quote from that movie with you. Someone in the movie says, "We don't choose the times we live in. The only choice we have is how we respond." And that segues into my belief about politics. The Swedish have an idiom, which, in fact, the Scandinavians use this idiom a lot. There's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothes. And essentially, it's that if you're prepared, if you know that I'm going into icy conditions, if you know that I'm going to a heat wave, you will put on the appropriate clothing and be able to survive the weather that you're going into. So the key thing, I think, about our politics for all of us to think about is this. Do you have the right clothes on? Have you prepared for what's coming and what's ahead? And so hopefully my talk today will be able to give you a bit of the clothes that you'll need to navigate the year ahead as we get even more intense politically. People always say, the politics are tough, and so it's going to be hard. I always say, never allow a good crisis to go to waste. As Ram Emanuel says, sometimes these hard times are an opportunity to do the things that all of us might have thought, I can't do that. But in times like these, that's when ingenuity comes through, and we can achieve great things. So I'm going to talk a bit about what I think will happen this year, and I hope over and above that you will remember that I'm trying by all means to say here are some clothes for the bumps ahead, and I think 2022 will be quite bumpy. And that's simply because the governing party in our country, the ANC, has elections in December. The ANC goes to its 5-yearly conference. It's got to choose a new president. It's got to choose the top 6 of the party and a new National Executive Committee. So there's competition already going on inside the ANC. And that means all of us have to put on our seatbelts, because that competition is going to lead to some bumps for all of us. I think the key thing for this year is to remember this. Nothing will come along and say, oh, we have a crisis, here it is, and it's passing along. It won't happen that way. These crises, as we've seen with just the first 6 weeks of this year, will come all at once. As we've seen, the Zondo Commission report comes out, Parliament is burned down, people say the Constitution is not working, there are xenophobic attacks or anti-immigrant attacks and so forth. You have all these things coming all at once, all at us. And so the thing is to not expect, oh, one will come and one will go. It's going to be a lot coming at the same time, and we have to learn to say, well, what's going on here? And let's hold on, we'll get through this one and that one and that one, because it's an election year in the ANC. And when it's an election year in the ANC, the internal battles within the party affect all of us as South Africans. A lot of people, myself included, always say, oh, you know, the good guys in the ANC, the bad guys in the ANC. There are many good guys in the ANC. There are many bad guys in the ANC, as there are in society. But don't forget that in the ANC, some of its problems are because the good guys have done some bad things and the bad guys have done some good things, and they keep on shifting. So a lot of that will see the competition between staying on an even keel in the ANC. But be careful, there are very few angels and very many demons and very few people who haven't done something. And so, you know, the mud will flow all over. We have deep problems in South Africa: race, we have poverty, we have unemployment, we have inequality. You're going to see some politicians trying to exploit these for their own ends. It's going to be a very fluid dynamic. It's not going to be this stays as it is in this way. It's going to change and change and change, and you're going to have to be on your toes all the time, because this battle changes and morphs in many ways. For those of you who live in Tshwane or the city of Joburg, Ekurhuleni, for example, the coalitions in those cities, in those metros, are very fragile, and you may find yourself with the DA, which is in power at the moment, having been kicked out because the coalitions are not strong enough. Ekurhuleni is particularly weak at the moment. So prepare yourself to see some bumps in your particular metro as well. But as I say, there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity for the opposition to show what they can do. There's an opportunity for civil society to do new and great things as well. I'm going to go through quickly a few of the things that I think we should look at and think about over the next year. The first one is the fact that violence has become normalized in our society, and that comes from the July riots, where we saw what business leadership called an unparalleled emergency that needed the state to take immediate action. What happened there? What happened is that the racial tensions, inequality, weak institutions, the fact that we were in the middle of a pandemic were all stoked by political players, as we saw from the report that was handed to President Ramaphosa a week and a half ago. All those were Tinder, and we saw essentially people machinating on social media, people calling for violence, people calling for property to be looted and so forth. And essentially what happened there is that battles within the ANC exploited the pain in our society of poverty and so forth, and we ended up where we are. Now, I don't want to scare you all, but I think one of the things we have to do as a society is start thinking about what if these things are on the verge of happening again, and we can only stop them from happening by keeping a very keen eye out about what happens now, what happens next. So for me, the two things are, we are still in a pandemic. Many people say, oh, you know, restrictions have been lifted and so forth. People are still contracting COVID. People are still dying from it. We're still in the tough days of the pandemic. And so to that end, you take that and you say the conditions of unemployment that persisted at the time are still there, plus the battles within the ANC are still there. And all those are conditions that existed in July last year. And so we all have to be very careful, keep an eye out that these things don't happen again. I think one of the matches that could light what we saw last year or light it up again would be some of the xenophobic issues that have come up in our society this year, the marches, the raids of businesses and so forth. And I think we need to keep an eye on that. So if there's clues that I'd like to give you on that one particular issue, it's this: keep an eye out because the conditions have not improved, and President Ramaphosa and his team have not done anything really to try and say this is how this is going to be averted. The second issue that concerns me is the trust in institutions. We've seen from Afrobarometer survey that came out late last year, people have lost faith in politicians. People are losing faith in institutions such as the police, the traditional leaders, parliament, and so forth. Can you believe only 27%, 28% of our people have trust in parliament, and so forth and so forth? You look at all that and you say, why did people not turn up for the elections on November 1, 2021? 40 million people are eligible to vote in South Africa, and only 12 million voted. So 28 million essentially said, I'm not going to do anything about this. And that is a crisis for our democracy, when people say, I'm not going to participate in an institution that was set up exactly for this. The municipal act-dance I've spoken about, and those three metros are for me the key things, and that's because those coalitions are very, very weak. They are unexplored, and they are not written down properly about what happens if this happens and so forth. So I would say it remains on a knife edge until it's settled down, it's bedded down what actually it means to have a coalition in the city of Joburg, city of Tshwane and Ekurhuleni in particular. But those metros, the new leaderships are working hard, and I hope that they do hold, but they are very weak, and I think the EFF in particular is not very keen on being in coalitions with the DA, and that remains a very big problem for those municipalities. The Zondo reports that are coming out, many people ask me about this, will there be action and so forth. Remember that, the Zondo Commission's third report will come out sometime this month, and it will implicate even more ANC leaders. And so, you're going to see a hard battle to have this implemented. If, however, President Ramaphosa does not ensure that prosecutions begin, then people will say this country is going nowhere. So if there's a red flag, I would say, if you see people beginning to be prosecuted, then we are on the right road, and we are going up and up, not down and down. For the opposition, there's a huge opportunity. The ANC, started at 62% in 1994, went up to 69% in 2004, and to 58% in 2019. This time around, in 2021, November 1, the ANC, for the first time in the history of our democracy, went to below 50%. It went to 47.9%. And that means that the ANC is out of play in the biggest cities, Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane. In Nelson Mandela Bay, the ANC is in charge just by one vote, and that it had to beg and scrape from other parties. Same thing in eThekwini, it was out until it managed to put together a coalition just to stay in power. But that comes with compromises. So the ANC has essentially become a rural party, while the big cities are in the hands of the opposition. And the big winner, both in terms of the public play, both in terms of coming out of the blocks early to that election, is Herman Mashaba's Action SA. New party, very dynamic, making a lot of noise. And I think this is the party that's going to grow well into 2024. It's I might not agree, and Mr. Mashaba and I have our differences about how things pan out, but very, very active on social media, in communities, and I think it has a lot of potential for growth in the next 2 years. But the real kingmaker and the influence of policy is Julius Malema. All the parties, from Action SA to the ANC, want Julius Malema and the EFF on their side because that tips the scales. Julius Malema and the EFF got about 10% of the vote last year, and so they have the ability to give power to most of the players in these arrangements. And so the key thing is that, people like me might say the EFF flip-flops and so forth, but at the end of the day, it has power in its hands. And that's how we have to look at how it happens. You're in the medical fraternity, so I don't have to talk to you about COVID. The key thing about COVID is that it exposed our country for what it is. We are a poor country and our people are close to starvation. Millions have lost their jobs. This is a picture of a queue just 3 weeks into the pandemic, the first lockdown in March 2020. A 13-kilometer queue formed for people to receive food parcels. That's why we have a problem with social cohesion. If so many people are so close to penury in our country, then we face big, big trouble. It also exposed our healthcare facilities. This is a picture of a hospital in the Eastern Cape. If you look at this, you can see just from the look of the building, imagine what it's like inside. And so we have to ask ourselves how, after this pandemic, we go through this. But we've been exposed, and we've been hit like the rest of the world by this pandemic. A lot of people said, oh, we'll go up like this and the economy will do great and so forth. But I think because we're still right in the middle of these waves and we don't know whether we'll get a fourth and a fifth and a sixth wave, we may have to lock down again. And if we lock down again, economically, that's a big, big setback for a country like ours. So, we have to hope that things get better, but as it is, it's very tough out there and it's looking tough. A lot of people say, what's happening with President Ramaphosa? He needs to act. President Ramaphosa is going slowly because he believes that he's aiming for 2 terms of 5 years, and in those 2 terms, he will begin to implement his reform agenda. I might not like it. I get very frustrated, but that's my view after watching him the past 5 years, is that that's what he's doing, and that's his strategy for what lies ahead. The problem is that he keeps on consulting everyone around him, and what should I do about this, and there's a commission into this, and there's an advisory team on this, and so forth, and that leads to frustration in society. Many people say, why does he not want to go up against some people in his party? He says, I want to keep the ANC together, and that's why he doesn't fight with many of the people in his team, and that leads to a lot of frustration. I don't expect him to change. I expect him to keep going the way he's been going, and that, I think, is the reading you should take from this. In terms of policy, I don't think major shift towards populism. I think it remains very pragmatic. I don't think that the land issue is going to be big at all. The ANC is not going to change Section 25 of the Constitution. I don't think the ANC is going to take your pension and invest it. I think all those are very populist ideas that have not taken root in the current ANC. Many of you, I'm sure, are following the National Health Insurance Scheme. I would like to say, if you followed the budget in November last year by new Minister of Finance, Ino Godongwana, there is no money budgeted for NHI. And if there's no money budgeted for NHI, it means it's not being implemented. And so my view is that let's talk again in 15 to 20 years. Perhaps then there will be real movement on NHI. But right now, I'm one of those who believes that there is no movement on NHI. The key thing is the economy. If electricity continues to be unavailable, this economy is going nowhere. If the state-owned enterprises continue to take money from government, your taxpayer money, then we're going nowhere. So the key thing is, how do you fix this economy through the budget? President Ramaphosa said on Thursday that he's extending the 350 Rand grant. That means that, in my view, next year we may get a basic income grant. If we get a basic income grant, someone has to pay for that basic income grant, and it would be yourself through personal income tax, through a VAT increase. So although it might not happen in the budget that will be announced on the 23rd, I think that that's what we should prepare for over the next year if things stay as they are. The things to watch in terms of new laws, again, land expropriation bill, but no change to the Constitution. The one that will likely affect you is the Employment Equity Amendment Bill. Labour Minister Julius Ngesi now sets the equity targets, and from 22 September 20 this year, equity plans will fall away, and new plans brought about by the minister will come into being. So you need to look out for that. If you've got foreign professionals working for you, there will be quotas, and you've seen the Minister of Home Affairs saying more of this, and we're likely to see more of that. So prepare for that for yourself. I'm coming to the end of my talk, so just on the positive side, I just thought, our politics are tough. It's been a tough 6 weeks into 2022. 2021 was tough, 2020 was tough, but are there some positives? I think that the key thing is that the institutions in our country have to work. So I was very happy with the appointment of Shamila Batohi as the head of the NPA. She has come under a lot of criticism, but I think we're beginning to see some changes there. We're beginning to see some, not all, but some political players being charged, appearing in the courts. I believe that there will be many more this year and over the next few months. And I say, if we all believe that if justice does something wrong, he goes to court, gets prosecuted, then we're beginning to build institutions. Many of us thought SARS was an amazing institution in the 2000s. Then it was broken down, as we saw in the Zondo report, but now it's being rebuilt, and new leadership there under Mr. Kisveta is showing the real spark, and I think that's a good thing. The institutions are beginning to work. Cabinet, we might not like them, but they're appointed by the person we put in the presidency. I think that's a very strong thing, that we are not being run from elsewhere. Again, we're seeing people being prosecuted and that people go to court, and I think that is that is very, very positive. So the institutions are being rebuilt, and I hope that continues. If that continues and we have some economic growth, we'll be back to winning ways. But the key thing for me is that we, the people of South Africa, remain very, very, very positive, remain in love with our country, and we do extraordinary things. This is a picture from eThekwini during the riots last year. This child, that building was on fire. The mother and this 2-year-old couldn't come out of the building. Someone took the baby and said, "I'll throw the baby down." Look at what's at the bottom there. People saying, "I will hold this baby." And if that is the case, then we have an extraordinary thing here, and that is that our people are still prepared to work together to achieve great things. After those riots, it was ordinary South Africans who said, "Not in my name," and went out and cleaned up our country. And so I believe that working together, business, the medical fraternity, everyone in South Africa, we can continue to build a great country. I don't think it's over for South Africa. I think we're going through a hard time like so many others across the globe, but things can and will get better. We just have to keep the right clothes on, keep an eye out for our country, and keep trying. Thank you very much.
People are eating more and more acidic foods, which can cause enamel loss and may lead to tooth sensitivity and yellowing. Strengthening enamel is very important to preserve enamel for the future. Pro-enamel will drive in more minerals into the enamel structure so that the enamel is stronger and more resilient to acid. We're very proud to have designed such a product. New Pro-enamel has been specially designed for enamel protection.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are all gathered here to celebrate the accomplishments of dentists and dental specialists in the dental industry. SADA, as you will all know, has about 14 awards categories, including those of students. Today we are going to just highlight awards and achievements. However, the full citations will be available on the SADA website by 7 a.m. tomorrow. There is no way we will be able to read everything about the achievements of the winners today. I encourage you to please go onto the website and read more about the winners and read more about the citations. Now, to our first award, and this is called the SADA Premier Award. The SADA Premier Award is presented to dentists or dental specialists who have made contributions of the highest distinction in the dental profession. The award is given to a person who best exhibits the following characteristics amongst others: dedication, selfless commitment, outstanding service, exceptional devotion, and/or compassion. Ladies and gentlemen, our first winner for this award tonight is none other than Prof. Leanne Sykes. Prof has been an academic for more than 30 years and is a specialist in the field of prosthodontics. She was one of the first clinicians to experiment with 3D printing for facial prosthesis back in the 1990s. And I know that some of you were not born then. I was about 50 years then. She has over 90 publications in both local and international journals, and we are proud that she has done so mostly in the SADJ. And she has been an active academic researcher throughout her career. Prof. Sykes is the current chair of the PG committee at the University of Pretoria and has been the driving force behind their upcoming accreditation process. This academic of note that I happen to know personally has authored the first peer-reviewed book at SADA called Clear, and I was part and parcel of that process and that journey, and I would receive from Prof. Sykes 7 letters in 7 minutes. She's also a regular reviewer to the SADJ authors. So I'm excited as I sit here today to welcome. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Prof. Sykes. Prof? That's for you. Congratulations for this award. If you can show the guys over there, will you be able to hold all of them?
I can hold them.
Are you sure?
You can hold that one for me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What would you like to say?
Casey, I'm honored, but more than that, I'm humbled because I know people who have won this award before, and they've been my mentors, my teachers, the academics that I've looked up to all of these years, and they've been people that are outstanding professionals in the community. So I just hope I can live up to the reputation of my predecessors and to the faith that you've put in me by giving me this award. Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you, Prof. Sykes. The second winner of the same award tonight, and I know him personally as well, is none other than Dr. Howard Lackman. He's an internationally renowned South African clinician with an outstanding academic track record. As a committed SADA-rite, I hope all of you understand what SADA-rite means. He sits on various editorial and scientific boards and boasts numerous scientific articles in international peer-reviewed journals. He's a director of the Implant and Aesthetic Academy based in Cape Town, a founding partner at Enamel Clinic, and an adjunct professor at University of Pennsylvania School of Dentistry. His publications and teaching in the field of implantology has gained him international recognition and local praise. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to give him a warm welcome to Dr. Lackman. Hopefully, he will be Prof very soon. Welcome, Prof.
Thanks, Casey. It's wonderful to be here, and thank you for the wonderful accolade. It certainly makes everything that we do worthwhile. I can only mimic what Leanne said. It's really a privilege and an honor to be here, to be with you, and to be amongst my peers, Blackie, Peart, and all the others, and Leanne, who are amazing people in our...
As you know, with the virtual processes, sometimes we get to have these hiccups. I'm sure he's going to come back online, because I want to hear what he has to say. I get very excited when people like him speak. I know his hard work. I know all the contributions that he's made to this industry. By the way, while I'm waiting for him, hopefully you can see which side. You can see my line here. Yes, you can see there. This side. Thank you. So let's go on while we wait for him. The third winner for this award is someone that we fondly call Prof. All of us know, Prof. Piet van der Vyver, qualified as a dentist, BCHD cum laude at the University of Pretoria in 1992, and he has received several gold medals and awards for academic distinction in many fields of dentistry. He's well known by every one of us. He's a part-time lecturer at the Department of Odontology, the School of Dentistry of the University of Pretoria. He's also a member, of course, of SADA, IADR, Study Group 1, the South African Society of Endodontics and Aesthetic Dentistry, to which he is currently chairing. Ladies and gentlemen, Prof also is a member of the Academy of Microscope Enhanced Dentistry. As I indicated, he is the president, or he runs the SACED. I would like you to please help me welcome this established clinician. Prof, welcome.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Casey. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, all my colleagues, I am extremely honored to be receiving such a prestigious award tonight. I am earnestly grateful for the recognition that I received tonight for my association with private dentistry, with the Department of Odontology that I've been working at about 23 years, the Faculty of Dentistry, University of Pretoria. Also working with the South African Dental Association and also with our Nomads group. Getting to the point where I am tonight, I would have never made it without my peers, my colleagues, and for whom I have the deepest respect. I really want to sincerely thank everyone, and let me mention a few names here. The first person is Professor Francois de Wet, that initiated and guided me through my academic career. He was really a key player in my development in the academia. Secondly was Dr. Koos Maree, that stimulated my love for endodontics. He's my friend, my colleague, and we spent many hours together doing continuing education. Lastly, Martin Foster, that I work very closely with at the University of Pretoria. We are a great team organizing and doing a lot of research and publications. And then lastly, I want to thank every dental practitioner in South Africa and every dental trader, because you guys have been supporting me all along with every course, every lecture, every venture that I've ever started in my career. So I'm really honored tonight and to share the podium also with Blackie and with Howard and with Leanne. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. And once again, congratulations. As you know, that Prof is one of our respected speaker every year. The fourth winner to this particular category is Dr. Lawrence Swart, otherwise known by his colleagues and friends as Blackie Swart. He's an accomplished maxillofacial surgeon. Dr. Swart is an active clinician and academic. He has published widely through papers and posters and participated in many international presentations over the years. Most notably, he was elected as a Nobel Biocare International Speaker, where he was part of a whirlwind lecture tour to various countries. He's involved in clinical research, evaluation of CE-accredited products. Dr. Blackie Swart, as is known, has been a recipient of the 2008 and 2020 Merit Award for contribution to the SA Dental Fraternity. Today, we get the opportunity to also honor him. Congratulations and welcome to Dr. Swart.
Thank you very much, Casey. It's always nice to see you and also to share this with Piet and Howard and Leanne. Good night, guys. It's wonderful to see you. Casey, I think the most important people is our patients. And my belief is it is our privilege to treat patients and not our right. And if you stand by this, things happen which you really don't deserve. But we must recognize the people around us. And I always recognize my wife, Lishan, and the children for everything they do for me, because behind every man, there's somebody doing the work, and I've got one of those. And the other recognition that I need to do is to Paul van Zyl. He's been my mentor, my friend, and we come from dentistry days, and we work still together now for 33 years. Between us, we've got 66 years of experience. And all the other things that happened is really just a bottom line base of what I am, because the patient is what it's all about. I thank you very much, and I appreciate achieving this recognition. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you very much, Dr. Swart. Again, I'm privileged because this is a man that I have worked with, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic, a very good hard worker, a man that never sleeps just to get things done. Thank you, Dr. Swart. Please help me now to welcome back my co-host, Dr. Metsing and Dr. Pabu, who will introduce the next speakers or the next awards while I go and drink some coffee.
SADA Service Excellence Award. The The SADA Service Excellence Award is presented to any member or members of SADA for outstanding instances of service to the association and its structures, or who renders distinguished and exemplary services over a period of time to the association. One who demonstrates through activities and achievements a strong interest in the affairs of SADA and the dental profession. The first SADA Service Excellence Award this evening will be awarded to the RVU Steering Committee, whose hard work and dedication over a 3-year period resulted in the first publication of its kind, including the SADA Dental Codes and accompanying RVUs, in order to provide a crucial benchmark by which to accurately and fairly calculate tariffs for procedures. The recipients of this award are Dr. Jacques Bierkes, Dr. Fahim Bamji, Dr. Francois Meyer, Dr. Fritz Hogendijk, Dr. Johan Lochner, Dr. Jonathan Dutoy, Dr. Karen Benny, Dr. Mark Wertheimer, Dr. Nadeem Osman, Dr. Noland Naidoo, Dr. Ranir Patta, Dr. Sankeshan Padiachi, Dr. Sebastian Erasmus, Dr. Stephen Swanepoel, and lastly, Dr. Vion Hoods Munsami. Let us welcome the representative of the RVU team, Dr. Karen Benny, who will be accepting the first SADA Service Excellence Award on behalf of her team. Hi, Dr. Benny.
Hi there, Tanisha.
Congratulations to yourself and the team, Dr. Benny, on the completion of this project, which is actually very vital to our industry. Would you like to share a few words?
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to accept this award on behalf of my colleagues on the RVU Steering Committee, and we really want to thank SADA for presenting us with this award. We've come a long way. The study took many, many hours, many meetings, many debates amongst our colleagues, specialists and generalists together. And I really want to thank my fellow committee members for their hard work and congratulate them on achieving this award. In particular, we'd like to thank KC for his drive to get this done, Nevada and Tanisha for your tenacity in getting us to answer emails and have opinions on the codes. We'd also like to thank our accountants for their guidance. We're not quite sure what it is that they did, but they did it spectacularly. And then lastly, we'd like to thank our colleagues for volunteering their time and the information to complete the original surveys, which ultimately led us to complete this study, as well as to complete the upgraded SADA code book. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your input, Dr. Benny. We now move on to our next Service Excellence Award.
4 a.m. wake-up calls, double shifts as a single parent, and 50-hour weeks just to stay afloat. Let's make it count.
The second Service Excellence Award goes to the team that worked on the COVID-19 guidelines. When the world and subsequently the country was struck by the COVID-19 pandemic, the association was plunged into a situation where they needed to provide direction to the profession. It was at that point that the association appointed a committee that comprised of esteemed professionals within the profession to come up with guidelines that would guide the profession. The award goes to Dr. S.J. Swanepoel, Chairperson, Dr. N. Osman, Dr. E.K. Naidoo, Dr. F. Mansour, Dr. S. Sultan, Dr. R. Patta, Dr. F.C. Meyer, Dr. S.Y. Peters, Prof. P.D. Mwipulai, Dr. K. Benny, Dr. N. Naidoo, Dr. M. Wertheimer, Dr. J. Bierkes, Dr. S. Anirudh, Dr. M. Michael, Dr. O. van Schalkwyk, Dr. M. Weekly, Dr. A. Kusal, Prof. B. Swart, Prof. P. van der Vyver, Dr. M. Bowles, Dr. D. Schlebusch, Dr. A. McKelvey, Dr. J. J. Vandenberg, Dr. H. Dlakman, Dr. Y. F. Solomons, Dr. J. Kusal, and Dr. R. Reddy.
Congratulations to the team, and I certainly am glad that I was one of the people who have witnessed this prestigious work being done. Let's welcome the representatives of the COVID-19 guidelines team. We have first up Dr. Ollie van Schalkwyk. Good evening, Dr. van Schalkwyk.
Good evening.
And do you have a few words to our members on this award that was given to you?
Yes, I'd really appreciate to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay, I just want to say good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for the privilege to say a few words on behalf of my team, who made up the coding and hygiene work stream on this very special occasion tonight. My team and I are truly humbled and honored to be recognized by SADA and our peers in this very special way. First and foremost, I wish to extend a heartfelt thank you to the members of my team for their work and valued input in what we were mandated and required to perform. They comprised, in no specific order, of Drs. Nadeem Osman, Jeff Michelson, Stephanie Peters, Jacques Bekers, Ntabiseng Metsing, and Faisal Mansour. Secondly, it was a pleasure to have been afforded the honor to do our part, together with our esteemed colleagues in the other work streams, such as Dr. Blackie and all the others who are going to talk, who performed sterling work and who immediately and without the slightest hesitation stepped up to the plate to serve and to guide the profession and its members, our peers, during a time of dire need and extreme uncertainty, which arose suddenly, unexpectedly, and without any forewarning in the form of a formidable scourge, of which very little was known at the time and which, as we all now know, had a massive global impact that touched virtually every aspect of human existence as we knew it. The repercussions thereof actually still affecting us, as well as our profession, negatively in a number of ways to this very day. Thirdly, and in closing, a very special tribute is also due to SADA's excellent management team and staff under the competent leadership of KC, together with the SADA board and councillors, who together with the different work streams played an immense and unselfish role to ensure that all dental clinicians, irrespective of being SADA members or not, were firmly supported and enabled at all times and via a number of different endeavours from SADA to cross the troubled landscape of a profession in crisis to get safely to the other side. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. van Schalkwyk. And now we'll hand over to Dr. Swart for a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud and honored to accept this award. In achieving recognition, one is never in isolation, but surrounded by very capable people. This instance is no exception. I will acknowledge those most vital who surrounded me, and I apologize to those deserving people who are not mentioned by name, as this was a collective effort by the entire Oral Healthcare Society of South Africa. First, I must acknowledge a true leader in our dental profession, SADA CEO, Mr. KC Makhubele, whose foresight and strong ethical standards brought to fruition the SADA 19 protocol. His caring for all oral healthcare workers in our country enabled the completion of this document before the end of total lockdown, so that no South African oral healthcare worker was denied the opportunity to earn a living during the ensuing times of exceedingly high viral loads. We set an example for dental communities worldwide by providing scientific evidence that protected us and the communities we serve. This protocol is neither perfect nor written as a peer-reviewed scientific article, but rather as a practical guidelines with much repetition of key facts. We knew our target audience very well and used pictures and repetitive text, as we knew few would peruse the full document. It was an 80% guidance and 20% professional opinion and interpretation document. Nevertheless, we set the most stringent guidelines because the lower the bar is set, the lower the standard of practiced care after interpretation would be. Many countries lacked clear leadership and guidance and experienced frustration, uncertainty about which protocol to follow, and unnecessary anxiety and loss of income. When I got the call to lead the South African SADA team to produce a working protocol document on how workers in oral healthcare, considered the most dangerous occupation during the pandemic, should practice, I jumped at the chance to bury myself in the task rather than to mop and vacuum all hours of the day, much to the delight of my children. At first, uncertainty reigned supreme, and many unscrupulous people tried to profit from dentists. Deep sea diving masks purchased, most untouched, are evidence. And social media presented the most unscientific advice possible, including at-home PPE sterilizing using bride drums. I needed oral healthcare workers as a sounding board for ideas and began a group that only had two requirements. Members were oral healthcare providers and would not profit monetarily from the group. In general, oral healthcare workers are individualistic and critical. Thus, with trepidation, I began to assemble a representative group. Piet van der Vyver, Stephen Swanepoel, Howard Gluckman, Mark Bowes, Jean Oosthuizen, Shloki Marishane, and Johan Hartshorn. I must note that Piet and his study group were highly inspirational. During this period, I spoke more to Piet than to my wife, and hardly have we spoken more than a few words since. I discovered that our oral healthcare community is a hidden gem. Not once did I meet resistance when I asked for help. It was necessary to include the entire community, from those providing basic care to the most advanced oral health care available. The highlight was when all representatives groups worked together over the weekend to meet a Sunday night deadline. Through all the sacrifices, not once did I receive a complaint. I had never been on the phone as much as during those 2 weeks, and my voice grew hoarse. KC and I got to know each other very well, and I had many conversations with him after midnight. And you know, never did I feel that I was intruding on his time. What a man. One morning, we had a Zoom meeting during which he did not turn on his camera. When we insisted, he reluctantly admitted that he was still in his pajamas. We all had a good laugh, as none of us looked any better at the time. One of my most amusing memories occurred when looking at eye protection, one of the biggest hurdles I faced in my practice. In our industry, visual acuity is synonymous with excellence. I tried everything possible, including having a sports store open its doors so that I could sample all the swimming goggles. Although I have never shared this with Casey, hi Casey, I had to threaten the CEO that if he did not open the store, we would get a minister to contact him to do so. Piet clearly showed my experimentations during a webinar as I withheld comment, as we did not yet have the appropriate answer. Now, I know it is 3D printed sides on the stems and rim of my prescription glasses. Within 2 weeks, I'll repeat that, within 2 weeks, we produced a document to safely guide us all in our practices, setting the most stringent guidelines, but knowing that they could be adjusted to individual needs. By following this protocol, we never endangered ourselves or our communities. We are still facing a storm that hopefully will soon pass. Let us not belittle the uncertain times we live through to mere 2020 hindsight. I salute you, the oral healthcare workers of South Africa, for an excellent job done. I thank you for this award and accept it on your behalf. Thank you very much, Casey.
Much, Dr. Swart, for that extensive description of the work that you guys put into this project. We now move on to our final Service Excellence Award of the evening.
SADA Service Excellence Award. The third SADA Service Excellence Award will be presented to the Vaccination Team. Through the assistance of several stakeholders, SADA was able to facilitate the early vaccination of oral health practitioners, and we would like to acknowledge those who played an active role. This award is to commend the team that worked on and facilitated this project, namely Dr. Niveen Govender, Dr. Anban Pillay, and Dr. Daniel Shepherd. Let us welcome the representative of the vaccination team, Dr. Anban Pillay. Welcome, Dr. Pillay.
Thank you very much, Tanisha.
A massive congratulations to you and the team for all your efforts, including the oral health profession as part of the vaccination drive. And might I just say, not only is Dr. Pillay an excellent clinician, but also a personal friend and my go-to medical advisor whenever I need help. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Thanks, Tanisha. It's a huge honor for me to receive this award on behalf of Vaccines for Healthcare Workers. I think we are very grateful for the recognition of the work we did. And, it's a team effort. I think it was a time when we were all very stressed with lots of anxiety. But I think this taught us that, we could work together. A special mention has to go out to my two colleagues and teammates, Dr. Niveen Govender, who is both a co-founder as well as the chief architect and the developer of the vaccine platform. Dr. Daniel Shepherd, who actually worked very tirelessly across the country, dealing with queries day and night from SADA members. Tanisha, I also want to take this opportunity to thank the SADA office and specifically yourself and Intabaseng. I think you guys sites. I know it was long hours with lots of very anxious doctors. But it was through this collaboration and the unity and strength of all the associations, I think that we came together as one, and that we actually made this a success, and we were able to vaccinate so many healthcare workers. So thank you again once more on behalf of the vaccine team.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pillay. Next up, please welcome Ms. Daphne Rampersad, Liberty Investment Advice Lead and keynote speaker from our partner at Liberty, who will be discussing the importance of taking a holistic approach to your financial planning.
4 a.m. wake-up calls, double shifts as a single parent, and 50-hour weeks just to stay afloat. Let's make it count.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and congratulations to the winners thus far. So I must tell you, it's after 9:30 p.m. here. So if I do fall asleep, please do shout. My name is Daphne Rampersad, and I'm from the Liberty Advice team. So a few years ago, Jeff Bezos spoke at an Amazon event about work-life balance. And he boldly told Amazon employees that the work-life balance continuum simply doesn't exist. And rather than seeing it as a trade-off or a balancing act, we should see work-life balance as coexisting. And if you think about holistic financial planning, it's pretty similar. Rather than seeing it as a trade-off or a balancing act between different aspects of financial planning, example, whether you adequately saved for a comfortable retirement versus ensuring a family's lifestyle when you're no longer around, you should rather instead focus on a prioritization of your goals and needs, which will ultimately allow you to live the life that you want to lead. Keep in mind, what is holistic financial planning? And as high net worth professionals, why is it incredibly important and why does it matter to you? So holistic financial planning is an approach that looks at the big picture of components of financial planning as well as your personal and financial life. It takes into account your goals, your dreams, where you are and where you need to be, and the journey to get there. And thereafter, a financial roadmap or plan is created to deliver on these goals and dreams. So when it comes to planning, we often get stuck into making money. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. However, that simply isn't enough. The question is not on how to become rich, but rather, what do I need to do to maintain the life I want to live for both me as well as my loved ones? Hence, a framework or a structure is incredibly important for high net worth individuals. And this will enable life changes as and when things happen. So let's take a look. So there's many frameworks that exist. This is a typical framework that you could adopt or a financial advisor would adopt. This framework analyzes your buckets of assets, namely your business, lifestyle, wealth preservation, or surplus assets. Now, to explain these buckets and how they coexist, your business assets, these are assets that provide you your income. And this is derived from your salary, if you're a salaried employee, or your business or your practice. It's basically your IP. Your lifestyle assets, these are the assets that will enable you to sustain your lifestyle. Example, your holiday home, your primary home, your vehicles. The important question to answer here is how long will these assets be able to sustain your lifestyle? And how soon can you reduce the short-term or long-term debt that may accompany these lifestyle assets? The third bucket is the wealth preservation assets. And the primary objective of these assets is to pay off your lifestyle assets once your business assets are no longer able to. So, to explain the concept of wealth preservation assets, we need to understand the complete holistic financial planning circle or picture. Here in front of you, you have what we call the holistic financial planning circle. On your right, you would see the creation of wealth and all the elements that underpin that. And on the left, you would see the protection of wealth and all the elements that underpin that. The generation of wealth sphere on the right looks at several wealth creating aspects. Particularly important is the one of goals. So attaching goals to your investment, retirement and savings allows you to better select portfolio strategies, measure your goal outcomes much easier than normal traditional investing. So goal-based investing has by far more investor benefits than traditional investing. This sphere also enables you to answer questions on, should I be investing offshore? And if so, what percentage thereof? Retirement planning is also on the right-hand side. And here's an interesting fact for you. In order to receive 80% of your current monthly income, adjusted for inflation, you would approximately require 15 times your current annual salary or income. So to get 80% of your monthly income when you retire, you need 15 times your current annuals. And that's a massive number. And yes, it is as much as that. Ultimately, though, when looking at the creation of wealth, many advisors have moved away from answering their clients' questions, will I be okay? Or what do I need to do to be financially secure? To rather asking the more important question, will I be happy? To not only survive, but to thrive and to have a meaningful and rewarding life for your time on earth. So to answer the second question, we really have to look at the key trends of happiness. And this applies beyond our work life and to anything. And research shows there are 3 key trends that drive happiness. So a bit of fun facts for you as well. 1, meaningful relationship, especially past the age of 50, is the single biggest factor that determines your life expectancy. In fact, if you're socially isolated, people start dying much sooner. 2, rewarding experiences. And rewarding experiences, not only having the experience itself, but the planning and looking forward to those experiences drives or has tremendous richness and drives happiness. And then lastly, a sense of purpose, waking up each morning feeling like you're making a difference and that somebody needs you. So these drivers and the goals and dreams behind these key drivers will lead to a proper articulation and ultimately fulfillment of your goals in the generation of wealth. So we spoke about the creation of wealth, but what about wealth protection or preservation? So on the left-hand side, you will see the elements that enable you to preserve your lifestyle. And what these components do is they basically fill up your bucket. So when your business and lifestyle assets begin to deplete, this is when your wealth preservation assets should actually kick in. Okay, so and they answer questions such as, should I no longer be able to afford an income? When I'm no longer around, what provision have I made for my family so they maintain the same lifestyle they're accustomed to? Also important is the element of estate planning. So here, important factors such as your dependents, children, what will need to happen, how would you include them in the provision of your in your will? Do you have even a signed or dated will? So adequately providing for a critical illness, income replacement. So these often take a back seat to the creation of wealth, but you can see it's equally, if not equally important. And again, rather than seeing it as a trade-off, it needs to be seen as a share of this huge financial planning puzzle piece. Now we'll move on to the last set of assets, which is the surplus assets. So these are the assets that you would speculate with. So money you can afford to lose and take risks with, or even money that you wish to other people to benefit from. So charitable organizations or trusts, etc. So with this framework in mind, the next question that begs is, how do you bring these complex elements of financial planning together? And this is where the value add of a credible financial advisor becomes imperative. As a high net worth professional, the challenges you face are often unique. Hence, you need a financial advisor that is able to speak to those unique needs and understands the challenges, and that will partner with you to make a tailor-made plan, a financial plan according to your needs. So given that holistic financial planning as well encompasses different aspects, like I mentioned, risk planning, estate planning, investment, retirement, tax, local, offshore, etc. The difficulty in having different advisors looking at the different facets of planning is that it is disjointed and not a single advisor has a complete big picture view. Hence, the selection of a financial advisor is extremely critical. And I thought I would end off this session by giving you a few tips when selecting a financial advisor. There are many questions you can ask in finding a suitable match to a financial advisor. But the top 3 I would focus on is 1, when meeting with a financial advisor, what are your certifications or your qualifications? Here, you're looking for a seasoned professional. In other words, a registered certified financial planner. 2, asking them the type of clients they specialize in and what client experience and what makes their client experience unique. Basically, you're asking, why do I want to work with you? And are you the perfect fit for me? 3, what are your measurements of success? This is a key question because a strong financial advisor will measure success based on the achievements of your goals and how that plan, your financial plan, is progressing. So there you go. I think with my parting thoughts, I would just say that life changes, but we survive and thrive because we as humans adapt. And think of your financial planning in the same way. Ensure that your financial planning is flexible enough to change and move with your changing life events. And if you get that right, and you won't be caught up by unexpected.
Thank you very much, Daphne from Liberty, for the insightful presentation. I think this presentation is useful for both our members, but also their families. By the way, I'm aware there's about 424 PCs that have logged in, and I'm also aware that many of you are watching with your family members. I know for sure that my wife and my little daughter, Okona, are also watching me. So I'm sure they've learned something out of this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next award will be the SADA Meritorious Service Award, which is presented to individual members of SADA in recognition of their significant contribution, long-standing and meritorious service rendered to the association at the national level as well as branch level. The award is presented to a person who best exhibits the following characteristics, amongst others: unselfishness, outstanding service, dedication and devotion to the affairs of SADA and its branches, commitment to and involvement in SADA affairs, continuously going above and beyond the call of duty. Now, our first winner for this particular award is Dr. Suranda Singh. He has served the dental fraternity for more than 35 years in the following ways: his selfless service to the poorest and most destitute in the community through the Wentworth Foundation, which he established and funded, and which services the cleft lip and palate and craniofacial deformed children in KZN with tertiary and quaternary care, and this they do at a minimal charge. His service to the continuing education of auxiliary dental personnel through the Academy of Orthodontic and Advanced Dental Assisting, established in 2010, where a large number of oral hygienists and chairside assistants have been able to develop skills through which to serve their patients way much better. His service to his colleagues through the establishment and maintenance of a study group of orthodontics in KZN, who meet on a regular basis to discuss cases and further their skills. His service to the South African Dental Association and the Society of Orthodontists of South Africa by serving on their organizational structures on numerous occasions. He has been recognized nationally and internationally for his contribution. Please help me welcome Dr. Surinder Singh. Welcome, Doc.
Hello, hi.
Congratulations. And would you like to say something?
I really wish to thank you guys for exposing us, and I must thank SADA. I thank them all the time for what they have done for us. Now, before I get into anything, I just want to explain to you that we're running such a big clinic, and there are close to 15 volunteers, and I would like to thank all volunteers who have made it possible to treat hundreds of poor KZN patients for free. There are almost, I think, plus minus 15 volunteers, but clinical as well as administration. A special thanks to volunteers who traveled far to render the services. And I can tell you, one volunteer was Dr. Morris Ferguson, who used to travel from Cape Town at his own expense once every 2 months, and he rendered his services because of his knowledge of cleft work. And there were others also that traveled. And we've been doing this for almost 25 years. And thank you to all who were involved in the nomination of the Wentworth Foundation for an award. And I must say, my colleague, Dr. Sidat, who initially nominated me, I wish to thank him. And then SASO, where the people, the South African Orthodontic Society, were the people that exposed me and brought everything to me. And I also at the same time want to thank all the dental companies, the individuals, the South African Dental Association, South African Orthodontic Society for all they have done in terms of materials, money, etc. And recently, the Smile Train, which is an international organization for cleft lip and palate, have embraced the Wentworth Foundation. And that was too fascinating and fantastic. And of course, if I have a little more time, I wish to tell you that we have our clinic sees patients from the time that they are born up until the time that they are 18 years old. We have treated hundreds of patients, and we've got statistics. One volunteer has got her master's degree from our collections. There's another volunteer that is doing her PhD degree from our collections. KZN is one of the poorest provinces. The health services are not good at all, and our work here has really helped, and I hope it carries on. But before I shut shop, I just want to thank two people who are responsible for making the Wentworth Foundation carry on. It's the administrator, my daughter, and the admin lady, my wife. She actually kept it going, especially when Wentworth Hospital Dental Clinic shut us down and I had no way to go. And they actually told me to get to my private practice, bring all the patients to the private practice, start off an NGO, get private funding, and that's how we won. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Singh. Of course, now we go to our next winner for the Meritorious Service Award category. And this is someone that many of you know, Dr. Mariki Wickley. She has been a general dentist in private practice from 1989. For the current 3 years, Dr. Wickley has focused treating mostly children. This is her passion. Dr. Wickley has a special interest to be a mentor for younger dentists and has taken in many young dentists as locums, as well as employees, and trained them, mentored them in all aspects of clinical and practice management area. I remember Dr. Wickley mainly because she always is smiling every time you speak to her. I even feel that when I phone her, she is smiling over the phone. No wonder why she has the passion for children. I think she loves them and the children loves her. She has served on the SADA structures, both on a branch level as well as on a national level for a very long time. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Dr. Wickley on stage. Dr. Wickley, congratulations.
Thank you, KC. Thank you so much. It's such an honor for me to receive this. And as everyone says, it's not just me, it's always a team. KC, I could always call you and ask you for assistance from SADA's side. I could also always ask help from a releaser. And the Pedodontic Society is also very, very thankful for everything that you did. The reason why I love kids so much is it's just so much fun. You saw me there sitting on the floor. So I am often on the floor on my knees. I've even seen children in the parking lot in their car that didn't want to come in. And it's so amazing to receive an award for your passion. I mean, dentistry is my passion, children are my passion, and it's a blessing. And I would like to thank everyone that went to every outreach, to every function that we organized. I'm supported by a wonderful group of people, and pediatric dentists are really fun. You must come and visit my practice one day and you'll see. We have fun all the way. The difficult part, of course, is to work with the parents. But anyway, we won't go there. I would just like to thank you also for SADA for giving me this award. I'm very blessed, I'm honored, and very thankful. Thank you, KC.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wickley. Maybe this is an opportune time for me to say she serves in the structure of the Pedo Society of South Africa, and they are currently championing to have pediatric dentistry as the 5th specialty in South Africa. They are at an advanced stage, and we are excited about that journey. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like now to go to the next awards because there's still many more. So stay put and listen up.
The next award is presented to the SADA Young Publisher of the Year. This award is presented to authors younger than 35 years of age for scientific articles published during the previous calendar year. SADA seeks, through this award, to encourage promising young authors to submit original scientific essays of an international standard for publication in the SADJ. The SADA Young Publisher of the Year Award is presented to Dr. Saskia Schwaber for her article on the determination of a sagittal skeletal pattern from a profile photograph. Dr. Saskia Schwaber completed her undergrad dental education at the University of the Witwatersrand, and she moved to the United Kingdom in 2018 to pursue postgraduate studies in orthodontics. She completed her specialist training at the University of Manchester in 2021 and is currently working as a part-time specialist orthodontist in Greater Manchester, whilst also contributing to the undergraduate BDS program at the University of Manchester as a clinical teaching fellow in orthodontics. Please join me in welcoming the winner of the SADA Young Publishers Award, Dr. Saskia Schwaber. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Really, thanks so much for this award. It's fantastic to still be involved in South African dentistry and still be involved in research as well. I think it just highlights the importance of still going for a research-based approach with your dentistry, and it's so good still to be involved with SADA.
No, it's an honor for us as well for you to be involved with SADA. So I'm sure this is a massive honor for you to receive this award as well, and whether it may have come as a surprise or not.
It definitely was. I just thought I'd submit my research to the awards category. And so I wasn't expecting this at all. But it's really, really fantastic to get this. And I'd just like to thank my team so much. So that's all my support network, which is my parents, as well as my friends and family here in the UK, as well as back home, as well as my research supervisor, who was also my clinical supervisor, Mrs. Susie Caldwell.
Thank you, Dr. Schwaber. We will now move on to our next award.
University 2020 Top Achievers. This award is presented annually to final year dental students registered within one of the 4 dental schools in South Africa who have achieved academic excellence. These practitioners would have achieved an average of 75% in their final year of study. University of the Western Cape, Dr. Daniel Shepherd. Sefako Makgatho Health Sciences University, Dr. Altaf Khan. University of Pretoria, Dr. Eric Hale. The University of the Witwatersrand, Dr. Van Niekerk.
Congratulations to our top achievers. We are now joined by the winners from the different universities. We'll start with you, Dr. Shepherd. I worked very closely to Dr. Shepherd. It's a pleasure to see you again, Dr. Shepherd. So over to you with a few words for us.
Hi, Dr. Mtsing. Oh, it's been so long. Thank you so much. This is really, it's quite a surprise. I don't know if anyone knows, but we don't get told what we've won an award for until right now. So really it is an absolute honor, and I'm completely humbled that SADA has taken the time to award us these awards, because really the only reason we're here is because of so many people who put time and effort and energy into training us and giving us all the tools we needed to help our patients today. So really this award speaks to all the hard work and dedication of all my lecturers and mentors, and every one of you that spent time helping me learn about the profession. So thank you. And thank you, Dr. Mtsing, for all the hard work and hours you've put into working with me personally and the vaccine process.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shepherd. Our next winner is Dr. Altaf Khan, who I also know very well because we were together at SMU at some point. Over to you, Dr. Khan.
How are you, Dr. Metsing? Indeed, it has been a while since I last spoke to you. If I remember correctly, the last time we spoke was at our SMU Gala dinner.
Yeah, indeed, Dr. Khan.
All right. Now, I accept this award with honor and professional pride. I cannot put into words I was just sent an email getting nominated for an award, and I was so surprised, what kind of award? But then I said, I'll take it. But I would like to thank all of the members of the board for my nomination. I would like to thank my family, especially my eldest brother Zain, my mother Rahana, my teachers, and all of the Sefako Makgatho Health Sciences University staff members for giving me outstanding knowledge in my undergraduate study, of which I believe I became quite successful in my practice. Especially in community service, I would like to thank my dental supervisor, Dr. Suhail Khan, for starting me off onto the correct path of understanding dentistry into the real world. And I would say that you will have my commitment and to uphold this award in everyday practice. And I am grateful to be affiliated with SADA, and I look forward to working with our shared interests in the future.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khan. Next up is Dr. Eric Hale. I don't know him personally, but I've heard a lot of good stories about the work that he's doing in the clinics in Soweto. So over to you, Dr. Hale.
Thank you very much. It is an exceptional honor to be nominated for the SADA Award tonight, and I accept this in front of my colleagues and parents who have made a massive sacrifice to put me through dental school, my patients, and most importantly, my mentors and teachers. I'm grateful for having had the opportunity to study in this profession, to use my hands every day to make a lasting impact in the lives of my patients. As a young dentist who stands in the shadows of many mentors, I aim to constantly learn and grow and improve myself within this fraternity. And I only hope to one day be close to something that is considered an exceptional dentist. So thank you to SADA, and thank you for everyone as well for the award. I accept it with great honor and pride.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hale. We saved the best for last, the only female in this category of winners. Dr. Van Niekerk, over to you.
Well, good evening, everyone. I must say it is, like you say, the only female amongst all the other male dentists that we have here tonight. But I would definitely like to say thank you so much to everyone that supported me throughout the 5 years. It was a very, very tough 5 years. You know, we feel like we get put through the ringer back and forth the whole time, but we always have our supervisors and mentors that are constantly there for us, picking up the pieces, telling us to always believe in ourselves, adding to that all our colleagues and friends that we made along the way, and not only to lastly mention, definitely our parents, my parents, mom and dad. You guys did everything for me, and I greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Van Niekerk, and once more, congratulations to everybody on this beautiful award. Let's have a look at our next award.
University Leadership Awards. This is awarded annually to final year dental students who demonstrated strong leadership skills, integrity, and ethical behavior. These practitioners would have worked very closely with the YDC in their final year of study and assisted with disseminating information between SADA and the rest of the oral health student body. University of the Western Cape, Dr. Esme Sithole. Sefako Makgatho Health Science University, Dr. Thapelo Mashao. University of Pretoria, Dr. Nicole Bentley. The University of the Witwatersrand, Dr. Van Niekerk.
Welcome the winners of the SADA University Award, Leadership Awards. First up, we have Dr. Esme Sithole. Let me add, I worked very closely with each and every one of the winners that are present here today, because the YDC certainly falls in my department. Welcome, Dr. Sithole. Have a few words for us. Dr. Sithole, I believe you are on mute. We want to hear your beautiful voice.
Sorry about that. No, I'd just like to say thank you for the award. I'm grateful for being recognized. I know that for most of us, it's not nice to dwell on 2020, but if I look back, it was definitely a year of teamwork and having a great support system. So I'd like to say thank you to UWC dentistry faculty for just making it possible for us to get through the year. And with a special thanks to the Dean, Prof. Wilson, Prof. Myberg, Dr. Prince, and our year coordinator, Dr. Kriti. Working with them was such a pleasure, and I know that they sacrificed a lot and have gone above and beyond for us. So a very special thank you to them. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Esme. It is lovely to see you again after a very long time. Next up is Dr. Thapelo Mashao, who in my previous lifetime, just like Dr. Khan, I got to interact with him beyond just this work that they've done for SADA. Over to you, Dr. Thapelo. Dr. Thapelo, it seems like you're also muted. Please unmute yourself. We'd also love to hear your voice. Okay. It seems like Dr. Thapelo is having some problems there. We'll move over to Dr. Bentley. Dr. Nicole Bentley, over to you.
I would just like to start off by giving a huge thank you to SADA for the honor of receiving this unexpected award, and definitely to all the lecturers at the University of Pretoria for all their support. And then to my fellow class reps, I think that we all have 2020 to thank for teaching us to cope under pressure and for molding us into stronger leaders with the ability to deal with any challenge or obstacle thrown our way. And here we are in 2022 already, our first year post-ComServe. I wish you all nothing but success in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bentley. Last but not least, we'll give over to Dr. Sandre van Niekerk again for the last time.
Thank you. Good evening again, everyone. As we all know, 2020 was a year full of many trials and tribulations, many hurdles that we all face constantly, but it was all us working together as a team, helping each other, that got us through in the end and made us all stronger. So congratulations to everyone, and we couldn't have done this without each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. van Niekerk, and congratulations once more to all the winners from the previous category. Now we move on to our next award.
We've been innovating dental implantology for more than 6 decades. From our Swiss roots, we spread our wings across the globe. Driven by a passion to discover new territories, we pioneer and promote creativity. With our player-learner mindset, we share a commitment to turning ideas into disruptive, science-based, innovative technologies. We push the boundaries to enable the next generation of dental care. As a high-performance organization, navigating to uncharted waters without limitations. We've created a powerhouse in dentistry, fostering talent with passion. We are change makers, dedicated to enhancing dental health care worldwide. United, we bring together global reach, experience, legendary precision engineering, and innovative technology. Our vision is to be the partner of choice in aesthetic dentistry. More than creating smiles, restoring confidence. The Straumann Group, united for global excellence in dentistry.
SADA Trader of the Year Award. The following award is presented to the SADA Trader of the Year. This award is presented to the CEO of the dental trade organization that was of most value to SADA and its members during the past calendar year in terms of total financial contribution made to SADA throughout the calendar year, public support of SADA, and practitioner's choice. This award is nominated and voted for by SADA members. The nominees are Inter-Africa Dental, Wright Milners, MyoBrace Dental Care, and Psy Vision Medical. The 2021 SADA Trader of the Year Award is presented to MyoBrace Dental Care and will be accepted by Dr. Faisal Mansour. The MyoBrace myofunctional orthodontic system delivers airway and habit correction to help resolve orthodontic problems. It treats the underlying causes, aiming to develop the jaws to improve their size and shape, which aids in tooth alignment. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Dr. Faisal Mansour from Dental Care. Congratulations, Dr. Mansour.
Thank you, Tanisha. Wow.
You're going to grow your biceps holding that one.
Thank you so much. Thank you to colleagues. Thank you to SADA for this recognition. It's the first time that we've won a Trade of the Year award. So obviously my heartfelt gratitude to everyone that voted for us. As most of you might be aware, my passion is to bring dentistry back to the center of healthcare. I think our industry has needed a paradigm shift for way too long, and I'm hoping that dental care, through the work we do and through the systems that we introduce, will be a catalyst for this paradigm shift. So yeah, thank you once again. I think in receiving this award, I'd like to put out a challenge and a plea to the industry. Can we think together? Can we work and can we grow together to obviously position ourselves on the right side of history? Thank you very much.
Let's have a look at our next category, the SADA Industry Innovation Award. The next award to be presented is the SADA Industry Innovation Award. This award seeks to recognize pioneers in business who develop new products that have been brought to market and have empowered oral health professionals to advance the health and well-being of South Africans. SADA seeks, through this award, to recognize trade partners who contribute constructively and generously to the dental profession. The nominees for this award are Southern Implants, Vision Medical, and MyoBrace Dental Care. The 2021 SADA Industry Innovation Award is again presented to MyoBrace Dental Care and will be accepted by Dr. Faisal Mansoor. Again, Dr. Mansoor, for yet another award. This must be an absolute honor for you to be the recipient of not only one, but two of SADA's most prestigious awards. How do you feel?
Thank you, Tanisha. At the moment, I'm bursting with excitement. And I don't think I'm the only one. I think all the MyoBrace practitioners in the country that are busy watching the live event are also jumping off their seats, because it's their hard work and their belief in us that's kind of got us this far. I'm humbled to receive this award, firstly because it's the second time we've received the Innovation Award in the last 3 years, and to have received both trade awards in the same sitting, I don't think it's been achieved before, so it's truly humbling. And I'm obviously proud of the achievements of everyone that's invested their time and their energy, their support and their belief in the MyoBrace system. So all I can say is that I received this award on behalf of you guys. I mean, it's not us, we're just the catalyst. It's you guys that make it happen every day. It's you guys that voted for us. So to all the progressive orthodontists and dentists out there that have supported us and continue to support us, guys, this is for you. Thank you so much. I mean, there's not more than I can say, but accept my gratitude.
Thank you, Dr. Mansoor.
Yes, here I am again. We are left with about 3 awards categories with about 4 winners. The next award, it is the Office Bearer of the Year of the SADA, or the South African Dental Association. Ladies and gentlemen, this is given to an office bearer of the association for a career of outstanding accomplishments as an office bearer, and recognizes outstanding service, devotion, and compassion while performing his or her duties to the association. The first winner for today is Dr. Parter, who served as his branch representatives on the SADA National Council with distinction, where his dental practice is situated in the far-flung areas of Georgia and the likes. He was successfully in 2017 appointed as a non-executive director of the association and subsequently elected as the vice chairperson of the board. Dr. Pata later on became the board chairperson. Dr. Pata was instrumental in promoting and supervising the SADA's mission, vision, and value, the association's social performance, the relationship with members and stakeholders, very strong in that regard. He also oversaw the final revision of the SADA Memorandum of Incorporation, which was finally adopted by the association in 2021. We would like to congratulate Dr. Pata. Unfortunately, he's having some issues with his connectivity, and I will take the privilege and the opportunity to welcome or to rather accept this award on his behalf. The next person who has been awarded this particular award is Dr. Stephen Swanepoel, whose career at SADA began as a representative of the Mpumalanga branch in 1989. Dr. Swanepoel held various positions on the Mpumalanga branch committee, including that of Honorary Treasurer, looking after the branch's financial affairs and serving as its president for many years. He also represented the branch of Mpumalanga on the National Council with distinction for many years. He's one man that always contributes when he knows what he's talking about. He really is a person that always wants to see things going forward. Dr. Swanepoel was elected as a non-executive director in 2017 of the association and served as a director until June 2021. He was a member of the investment committee representing collectively smaller branches, a trustee of the Dentistry Development Foundation Trust, and served with distinction as a chairperson of the Dental Practice Committee, including being part of the RVU Steering Committee. In 2021, Dr. Swanepoel elected not to make himself available or eligible for re-election so that the association may be able to meet its transformation targets, which were set by the National Council. Despite this, Dr. Swanepoel still made himself available to serve on the committee when he was approached by the current chairperson of the Dental Practice Committee. Dr. Swanepoel, having made himself available, he serves on an ad hoc basis as a member of the Dental Practice Committee, offering his vast experience, knowledge for the benefit of the whole committee. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to help me welcome Dr. Swanepoel. Dr. Swanepoel, congratulations.
Good evening, KC. Thank you. I must say I'm humbled with this nomination and this award. I didn't expect it. I was only doing my work. And I must say, if it wasn't for the support of my wife, Laurie, and all the dedicated colleagues that helped me with this, I wouldn't have been able to do my work the way that I did. So thank you very, very much. And I do appreciate it. And God bless.
Thank you very much, Dr. Swanepoel. Dr. Swanepoel, as a chairperson of the Dental Practice Committee, he used to actually drive from Mpumalanga to come for meetings with schemes or whatever important meetings, although it was not necessary, but he felt it was important. And this is an indication of how he really was putting his efforts in the association. Thank you very much. Now, we are going to go to the next award, which is the Humanitarian Award.
Humanitarian Award. The South African Dental Association annually recognizes a dentist who has distinguished himself or herself by outstanding, selfless leadership. Through the dedication of extraordinary time and professional skills to improve the oral health of the underserviced population locally. The award recipient worked as a private practitioner in Vryburg from 1985 to 1987, where she practiced general dentistry, including all aspects of clinical dentistry. She then joined Embuleni Hospital from 1987 to 1989, where she rendered dental services to the community of Elukwatini Hospital and rural clinics. The rural clinics did not have electricity at the time, neither did they have equipped dental rooms. Office chairs were used to treat patients and flashlights for lighting. She started at Standerton Hospital in 1990, where she managed the oral health department, being the only dentist at the hospital until 1998, during school visits as far as Groetvlei and many other areas. Organizing events which promote oral health and oral health care in the community became a priority for her. The first big event she organized was the Standerton Agricultural Show in 1991, a 3-day exhibition and information kiosk sponsored by several companies, which was such a huge success that it motivated her to continue organizing these events, and that is where it all started. National Oral Health Day programs, which run in September, school programs, World Oral Health Day celebration events, another 3-day exhibition at the Standerton Agricultural Show when it turned 100 years old, competitions for learners at school, screening at school and oral health education learners, Madiba Day celebration at schools or institutions, scarves and beanie project in wintertime, spoiling patients for Valentine's Day, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Women's Day, Christmas. All of these events were published in local newspapers. Oral health care, promoting oral health in community, and serving the community lies very close to her heart, and she believes that every patient deserves to be treated with dignity and empathy, and that is what she strives for.
Congratulations, Dr. Lowe, and might I say it is indeed a pleasure to finally meet you. I think you're one of the first practitioners that I really got to work with, even if it's on a virtual level, when I joined SADA. Do you have a few words for our guests this evening, Dr. Betsy Lowe? Dr. Lowe?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, family and friends. It is a great honor for me to be receiving this award from SADA. Thank you very much. I want to thank my parents, my mother, she's very proud tonight. My father, he would also be proud. My husband, my children, my family and my friends who supported me over the years with all the activities and events. En dit is vir my baie lekker, my werk is my passie. En om ander mense beter te laat voel, dit maak vir my 'n groot verskil in hulle lewens. So baie dankie en baie geluk ook aan al die ander mense wat toekennings gekry het. Baie geluk en ek waardeer hierdie regtig baie. Dankie.
Baie dankie, Dr. Lowe, en geluk aan u ook. I hope I did that correctly. Now over to our next award for the evening, which is actually our last award for the evening. Thank you.
Baby, what's your question?
I want to know, how does the Liberty Funeral Plus plan help people stay covered when budgets are so tight?
Well, I've got a question.
What?
What are you buying me with your cash back?
For a small additional fee, the Liberty Funeral Plus plan gives you cash back to reward you for staying covered to spoil you and your growing family. Sign up to a single plan that has a plan for a lifetime of changes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the evening, the end of these celebrations in terms of officiating and giving away the awards. Obviously, the actual dancing and everything is going to happen from here onwards. In actual fact, the winner of this award that I'm going to be giving, he promised that we're going to do a kwasa during this live interview. I will tell you about it. So for the final award of tonight, it is the Honorary Membership of the South African Dental Association. This award is presented to individual dentists who do not practice or reside in the Republic of South Africa in recognition of their distinguished or meritorious service rendered to the association or the dental profession generally, or individuals in recognition of distinguished or meritorious service rendered by that person to the association or the dental profession generally, or to any other allied science or to humanity generally, or any other grounds approved by the National Council of the South African Dental Association. The winner, and I have a privilege of announcing the winner of tonight and for this award, is Prof. Ayo Yusuf. He has been dedicated member of the African Dental Association. He has served as an international director for behavioral and epidemiology group on the mother body IADR. He is an NRFB rated scientist. In actual fact, when he speaks, I want him to explain this because this is a very important thing that many of us don't understand in terms of this rating. His research interests are mainly in cancer prevention, tobacco use prevention, and related policies, with a focus on policy and program evaluation using real-world evidence. Prof. Ayo Yusuf is a tobacco control expert who has published over 100 peer-reviewed articles in international journals, including the likes such as the JAMA, Lancet Global Health, and Lancet Oncology. He has served as a consultant to government and international organizations such as the UNFPA and the International Development Research Center in Canada. He has conducted several research studies that were the first in South Africa and has been well cited. His achievement is long and broad. I would like to encourage you, as I said earlier on, go and read about him in the particular website, and you will see what he has achieved all along. And he's going to tell you a little bit about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to help me welcome Prof. Ayo Yusuf on stage. Prof. Congratulations. Should we start with the kwasa kwasa?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Prof.
much. Thank you.
And would you like to say something? And please explain the NRF B-rated category as well.
Well, maybe I should start off with that. B-rated category just simply means a researcher that is established and has an area of expertise and internationally acclaimed for the work that they have done. So, but more importantly, I have to say to SADA, you've kept this a surprise to me, and it is indeed a privilege to be standing here today. I did not prepare any speech, but reflecting as I listened, I assumed that whoever has nominated me and the committee saw it fit that the work I do with passion was seen as an achievement and befitting for this award. So I'd like to say, first of all, thank you to SADA and the committee and to those who nominated me. Now, secondly, obviously, I like to, not because I know she's watching, but the fact of the matter is I couldn't have done this long hours of work, travel, without the support of my wife. I like to say thank you to her as well. And of course, I always say to people, opportunity like this, I hope I've broken this glass ceiling as well for the dentists in terms of leadership in hospital that I've held or in higher education up to position of being an acting vice chancellor of a university, that the glass ceiling has been broken for the profession. And in reflecting, one thing that I have to say is, irrespective of your level of qualification, or education, the most important that transcends all of this is character. Any educational qualification without the right character would not get you very far. And in reflecting why I'm standing here today, I would say character that has been built through what I call the 3 Ps, people. And in that, I like to acknowledge somebody who inspired me, a dentist as well in the United States, in Boston, who single-handedly produced a tobacco control program for a state that is now a model for what you do. That's a dentist, Greg Connolly. And also another person that inspired me was my supervisor for my PhD at Maastricht University, Bart van der Borne. In terms of people, going to places also build your character. Working in rural Limpopo province through 1995 to 2000 built character. Traveling through from Bella Bella to Vertport, all those rural areas where they waited for you for 1 month, you begin to appreciate what it is to serve, to give service to those who don't have. And from Limpopo to doing my postdoc at Harvard University, where you see excellence, and you realize that they're just people like you. That excellence can be built anywhere, whether you're in Limpopo or you're at Harvard or you SMU. And of course, lastly, practice. What you do regularly would also build character. Interestingly, dentistry or dental practice was instrumental to some of the characters. Integrity, when you sit looking at a patient's mouth, and only you can see what has happened in that canal. But integrity tells you to say to the patient what exactly has happened. Ethics, all of those build character, and that you can use it whether be in a dental practice or being an administrator. So on that note, I'd like to say again, thank you. And to the profession, I'm dedicating and remain committed to the profession, particularly to academic leadership in dentistry. I've offered myself as a mentor, and particularly for women academic leadership. I want to say again, thank you to SADA for this award. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Prof. Aya Yusuf. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is an indication of the breadth that we have within the profession. I would like to thank everyone that has been watching it with their families. This now brings us to the end of this evening in terms of the awards. I would like now for all of us to listen to the chairperson of the board, Dr. Osman, as he gives his vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I would now like to do the vote of thanks on behalf of the board of the South African Dental Association. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for joining us for this awards gala event. We have handed over awards to members of the profession who have served selflessly of themselves to better the oral health profession. Our sponsors for the evening, Liberty, Sensodyne Pronamel, and the Straumann Group, thank you for allowing us to have this platform to be able to honor our members and esteemed colleagues in the profession. To the awardees, thank you for all you have done and continue to do, and we hope that this will provide inspiration for many, many other colleagues to also serve the profession with such diligence. To the head office staff, KC, the CEO, and his team of Dr. Metsing, Dr. Parbu, Anne, and Maralise, as well as all the other office staff, thank you for all that you do every day to provide our members with wonderful service. To the members who took time out to nominate their members, thank you for allowing SADA to recognize their contributions. And we hope that you continue to do and encourage others to also nominate people to be able to receive an award. To our guest speaker, Mr. Justice Malala, thank you for a very insightful presentation, and we hope to take away lessons from them. And finally, the magicians behind this event, Creative Space Media, Thank you for putting this all together, and we hope that we would be able to do this in the future again. Thank you once again to all attendees. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again at our next Gala event. I will now hand you over to Mr. KC Makhubele to do the final closure. Thank you.
Now, that really brings us to the close of this evening, this prestigious, beautiful evening, where some of our members who epitomizes what we yearn to see everywhere have been nominated by you, not by KC, not by my staff members, but by you. And this is interesting because this is good. Sometimes I hear about professional jealousy. I want to say you have proven and you keep on proving that although the word exists, I think we as an association and a profession, we are doing very well in recognizing those people that deserve to be recognized. Now, before I close, I would like to ask my co-host, Dr. Metsing and Dr. Pabu, should we do a dance or should we jump? Or what would you like to say to the winners?
Oh, Casey, thank you very much. I just want to, at the beginning of the show, I did extend my congratulations to all the winners. And to the rest of the team that has worked on this, I'd like to pass my gratitude and for the support that Casey also gives us. I'm sure everyone has heard a lot of the speakers that have given us information on the work that Casey does. And from management, we also do receive the same support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pabu.
I think I need to echo those thoughts with you. I know there are many times where Casey has told me he has slept at 2 a.m. the night before because he has received calls and emails from members that he attends to with the great passion as he would do at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I think we need to acknowledge that Casey is a great leader, and we are very lucky, therefore, to be in the presence of Casey where he can teach us and mentor us to go further, to help our members and to grow SADA further. But I think I also want to quickly just mention Greater Space Media in that all the efforts that they have done tonight have been impeccable, and their help in settling everyone's nerves, mostly mine, have been amazing. So a massive thank you goes out to them.
Thank you very much. This is very exciting, all the accolades and everything else. And I hope what Dr. Metsing and Dr. Pabu is saying about me, it is not their way of asking for an increase, because I won't give it. But on a serious note, also want to thank Dr. Metsing. This falls under her department, so well done on a great night. You may see what you're seeing here, but in actual fact, the work that goes behind this is quite a huge amount of work, and the planning that comes with it is quite long. So, we can go on and mention Dr. Metsing in her department. So there's Dr. Metsing, there's Marlies, there's Tsepo, there's Dumi, and there's Anne who support them. That team have worked hard, long hours to get what we have gotten today. So whilst today we have honored these giants of our profession, there are many more that should be celebrated, including myself. So I'm challenging Dr. Naidoo to nominate me next year. I therefore encourage you to nominate for the 2021 awards your colleagues. Let us not leave the good work to be under a hidden blanket or under a hidden anything. It is time that we elevate the work that is done by our members, the work that is done by our colleagues in those corners. Let's elevate it to a public platform like this. So ladies and gentlemen, for 2021 awards, I'm encouraging you to search closely, nominate. Congratulations to everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Bye. And good night. You have a lovely evening. Enjoy. That's right.